Once there was a merchant of wine, brandy, and orange bushes, and as almost everyone wanted these items, he was wealthy. His family had a huge house with ornate doors on a fashionable street in town. His wife had 4 personal maids to care for her clothing, shoes, hats, and hair, respectively. His least favorite daughter, Susan, was a fitful baby. His most favorite daughter, Rhoda, was no longer a baby and quite a spoiled child, because anything she asked for, she received. She had 100 silk and satin dresses in all colors, with hats to match. She had a pony for each day of the week, and a carriage shaped like a swan. She thought butterflies were beautiful, so she had a collection of 1,000 dead ones pinned decoratively to one of her playroom walls. She even had a pet ocelot named Baboo, which she more or less ignored. What she didn't have were friends, because she looked down on girls with less things than her. Would you want to be friends with a spoiled, mean, and judgmental child? I thought not. That's why Rhoda was elated to meet Mirabelle. Mirabelle's family was French, and they weren't wealthy at all. In fact, they didn't even have a home. They were circus performers. Rhoda had seen the act The Amazing Chignon under a green tent and been, amazed. They contorted themselves into such knots and shapes, and Mirabelle was so beautiful. The family had traveled the world and performed for kings and queens, according to the ringmaster. Rhoda was intrigued and invited Mirabelle to lunch the next day. It didn't matter that the girl didn't have 100 dresses or 7 ponies or 1,000 dead butterflies. She had spangled costumes, monkeys and elephants for friends, and 1,000 exciting stories. And though affable, she wasn't impressed with Rhoda's things. She was most interested in the house's library full of books and Baboo, the oft-neglected ocelot. You and he could be an act, Mirabelle said. We could? Rhoda asked, her eyes brilliant with dreams of circus fame. Oh, yes. We would train him to dance with you, and you would wear a magnificent costume with... Mirabelle paused before snapping her fingers. I know. Let me show you. Rhoda watched as Mirabelle took a golden candelabra off the table and put it on top of her head. She was so still that the 8 flames barely flickered. Then she danced a stately, graceful dance with the candelabra perfectly balanced atop her head. We would call you the fire dancer, and Baboo would dance beside you wearing a red and yellow sequined vest. You would both be stars. Stars, Rhoda whispered. That night, she told her father she wanted to join the circus, and for the first time in her life, he refused her. His answer didn't change when she cajoled or begged or screamed or stamped her feet. But I want to, she shrieked. No, he bellowed back before shutting his study door in her red face. She screamed, before proceeding to have an epic tantrum. But her father was unmoved. Not only that, he took away her swan carriage as punishment. It wasn't fair. Her fit continued until she swooned. When she woke up the next morning with a terrible headache, the circus had left town early and the fascinating Mirabelle was gone. Rhoda's fits and swoons continued for several days until she realized they would do her no good. That's when she decided to work on her act. She and Baboo would be stars. They would run away to the circus, wherever it had gone. She spent the day enticing the ocelot to dance with bits of roast beef sandwiches and sips of brandy. After several hours, the animal curled up to sleep in the sunlight and refused to be roused. Silly cat, she said. I suppose I shall practice my dance now. Rhoda put the candelabra on her head without thinking to extinguish the candles. Not a good idea, since it was her first attempt at fire dancing. She stood perfectly still, without any issue, and then took a slow step forward. The candelabra teetered, candles tumbled, flames ignited her hair and the blue silk of her ribbons. She blazed like a girl-shaped pile of oil-soaked wood, fire consuming her utterly as she shrieked. And as she recently had made a habit of shrieking, no one came to save her.
No one even discovered the pile of ash that had once been Rhoda until Babu was seen by a footman gnawing on her charred skull.
The end. Rhoda, you know something's wrong when a child asks for a carriage shaped like a swan and gets it. Nothing good's gonna come of that. Nope. Set herself on fire. Now, if you have any thoughts about how Rhoda caught fire, was engulfed in flames, if she did it, if someone did it to her, I would love to hear your story down in the comments. Tomorrow is Susan, the fitful baby sister of Rhoda, is tomorrow. I am Rachel of Rachel Gets Creative. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. And yeah, see you tomorrow. Love you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.